Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today on this current video I'm going to give you my analysis on the Manchester United West Ham game. So Manchester United have just beaten West Ham at Old Trafford by 2-1 of course. Let's be honest, not the best of performances from Manchester United of course, but all that matters is the 3 points of course. And obviously we do know in this scenario, obviously the result is obviously more essential than the performance as well. So we do keep our top 4 ambitions alive. So now Manchester United of course only sit 2 points behind top 4 of course as well. And obviously going into the game, obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had rotated the squad as we all know. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had made about 5 changes of course. Obviously we knew that Ashley Young was suspended, Luke Shaw is suspended, so obviously brought Diego Dalot into contention at that right back position. Obviously Rojo was playing at left back of course, and I think he's rested quite a few quite a few key players for the game on Tuesday night against Barcelona in the second leg. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer today also started Juan Mata. There was no Lindelof playing today. There was no Scott McTominay playing today as well. So essentially Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had rotated the squad as we all know as well. So now I'll give you my analysis on the game. To be quite honest, it wasn't the best of performances from Manchester United as I said, but all that matters is the 3 points, to be quite honest. And obviously Paul Pogba getting the man of the match, obviously scoring twice from the penalty spot, and that's Paul Pogba's 16th goal this season as well. But I'll give my analysis now. To be quite honest, I thought in the first half I thought both teams, were very, very open indeed in the first half, and I thought both teams would find it very, very easy to get in that attacking third of the pitch, and there wasn't really any big chances, in that first half, to be quite honest, because I thought both teams, were just lacking that cutting edge, and they were lacking in that final third of the pitch, to be quite honest with you. I thought Manchester United, give the ball away on numerous occasions, of course, as well, but I thought West Ham, had their moments in that game. I thought they showed a good attacking ambition. I thought both teams, were expansive on the ball as well. But I just thought it was an open game, to be quite honest. I thought both teams were open. As I did say, I thought both teams, found it very, very easy, to get in that attacking third of the pitch. And we was too open at the back. West Ham were causing problems for us at the back. We were too open in midfield. So we should have been like more tighter in defence, more tighter in midfield, and we should have been a bit more compact in defence and midfield, to be quite honest with them as well. And there also was some talking points in the game as well, with the first penalty, decision, that was a huge debate. Obviously people are debating on West Ham's disallowed goal in the first half as well. So potentially West Ham did get a disallowed goal in the first half. It was from Felipe Anderson. Potentially there were talks, a lot of pundits were saying that was onside, that goal. Obviously I think it was a header from Menendez, was it? Felipe Anderson received the ball, and talks saying that Diego Dalot actually played Felipe Anderson onside, but of course it had been disallowed. And then potentially Manchester United had got a penalty just before the 20th minute mark of course as well. That was a huge debate as well. Potentially I think it was Juan Mata that went down of course. I think it was a challenge from Robert Snodgrass just right at the edge of the box, but Manchester United got the penalty just before the 20th minute mark, and Paul Pogba slotted the penalty away, and that was 1-0 to Manchester United of course as well. So essentially there wasn't really much to say in the first half. I know it was far too open, but there was some good individual performances from West Ham as well, because they looked very, very dangerous, especially on that left hand side. I thought Felipe Anderson looked very, very dangerous for West Ham. I thought Lanzini had a good game for West Ham, obviously, until he went off injured in the second half. I thought, Declan Rice, had a pretty decent game as well. I thought he was intercepting well, quite a few times as well. So definitely, West Ham had their moments in the game as well. So potentially, as we all currently know, second half comes, West Ham again, started, the second half off brightly, to be quite honest with you. But there was actually more entertainment in the second half, and there's actually, there was a few more chances in the game in the second half, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, we saw some substitutions, come on in the second half as well. But just after, I think it was the 49th minute, 4 minutes into the second half, West Ham, of course, had got their equaliser, and I think it was De Gea's fault that led to West Ham's equaliser, because it was a poor throw out, from De Gea. Obviously, it was a cross from Lanzini, and Felipe Anderson was there at the near post, took it away, and that was 1-1. And then potentially, West Ham, then kept pressing on. They started to have chances, did West Ham, and they brought some substitutions on. Obviously, Manchester United, brought some substitutions on as well. We saw Marcus Rashford, come on Marcus Rashford came on for Juan Mata, and to be quite honest with you, we did look a bit better, when Marcus Rashford came on. I think he had a couple of chances of his own, did Marcus Rashford, and then potentially, we also saw come on in the game as well. I think we saw Andres Pereira come on for Rojo. We also saw Mason Greenwood come on for Romelu Lukaku as well, and then potentially, West Ham, brought Michail Antonio on in the game, and he had two great chances, for West Ham, when he came on. I think he hit the crossbar in the second half as well. Did Michail Antonio. Also, moments later, David De Gea had to pull off a world-class save, to deny Michail Antonio as well. So potentially, he had two big chances for West Ham, of course, as well. But with 10 minutes to go, Manchester United had got awarded another penalty. This was a blatant penalty, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, Martial was clear on goal. Martial had got taken down, I think, was it from Frederiksen or something like that. And Manchester United had got the penalty, and Paul Pogba had tucked it away again, and that was enough, to get Manchester United the victory, of course, as well. So I think, there was some talking points in the game, about West Ham's disallowed goal, about the penalty, the first penalty that was given. There was a huge debate about that as well. But all that matters is, for us as Manchester United fans, is the 3 points, of course, as well. So we was too open in the game, to be quite honest with you. I thought the midfield was far too open. I thought our defence was far too open. So I think we needed to be more compact in the defence and the midfield, to be quite honest with you. Rashford, looked really, really good, when he came on. He looked very, very good indeed, did Marcus Rashford, of course. To be quite honest with you, he wasn't the best of performances, from Manchester United. I thought, to be quite honest, we were thinking actually, more, we're thinking ahead of Tuesday's game against Barcelona. To be quite honest with you, we can't be that open, against Barcelona on Tuesday, because obviously, they will exploit us, and obviously, they'll get, they're going to win, quite comfortably, to be quite honest with you as well. Obviously, West Ham from their perspective, they'll be very, very disappointed. Obviously, this was a game they had to win as well, obviously, because obviously, they're fighting to get in the top half of the table. Obviously, West Ham haven't beaten us. West Ham have not beaten us at Old Trafford since 2007, and that's when Carlos Tevez scored as well. I think that was the last game of the season. That season, we'd still won the title. I think that was actually Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's last game as a Manchester United player, of course, as well. So all that matters is, Manchester United, of course, got the win. That's all that matters. But you can potentially, see the deficiencies in the squad, to be quite honest with you. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is going to get around over £200 million to spend this summer. Obviously, always spending, big and all that, and, getting the right recruitment doesn't always, guarantee success and all that. But you can potentially, see the deficiencies in the squad, and you can, you can identify, the key areas where Manchester United are lacking, of course, as well. Obviously, we know the club are still looking to hire a director of football to come in. Obviously, there's been a lot of talks going on about Paul Mitchell, as we all know as well. Obviously, who was head of recruitment at RP Leipzig. I think RP Leipzig are willing to offer him a new deal until 2025, of course. Well, I think he's been there a couple of years now at RP Leipzig in Germany. Obviously, he used to be head of recruitment at Tottenham and Southampton, of course, where he did work alongside Mauricio Pochettino. But we need to get a director of football to come in, to change the club structure and all that as well. But we have got to get the right players in the summer. We've got the ability, to elevate Manchester United, of course, in the next 2 to 3 years, of course, as well. So that's very, very essential indeed. It's obviously good that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is making plans for the summer, of course. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been in regular contact with Ed Woodward, what players should come in, what players should leave. What players should come in, what players should leave, and what players should stay, of course, as well. And maybe a lot of people are talking about maybe we should spend the money wisely in the summer. Maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment in the summer, because we all do know, basically, that obviously, there's quite a few players, that are available for a reasonable figure. But obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wants to build a squad, worthy of the club's history, of course, as well. And we do know overall a lot of money has been spent at Manchester United, as we all know, about nearly £700 million, obviously, in all the managerial areas, of course. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding his Manchester United team. But let's be honest, none of these teams Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, obviously, he's inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players, of course. He spent just under £400 million. Obviously, there's still some players here from Louis van Gaal, of course, as well. And I still think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is definitely the right man for Manchester United, of course, because he can potentially see, the deficiencies in the squad. And we need to address this problem, of course, in the summer as well. But all that matters was all that mattered is today. You know what, Manchester United, you know, got the 3 points. You know, that was the most essential thing indeed. So potentially, I do understand Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, resting, you know, quite a few players. You know, obviously, you know, for the game on Tuesday night against Barcelona. I think he'll probably, you know, play McTominay, you know, against Barcelona as well, because his performances have really improved, you know, in the last couple of weeks. You know, McTominay, it was good to see today as well. You know, Fred given the opportunity as well. I thought Fred had a really good game, you know, against Barcelona. You know, to quite honest, he's probably more mobile and he's better on the ball, you know, than the Nemanja Matic, you know, to be quite honest with you as well. So you can potentially see the deficiencies in the squad. We need a right back, we need a right winger, we need a couple of additions in midfield, of course. And if Paul Pogba is to leave United this summer, obviously we've got to build around that, of course, as well. I also think, you know, we need a central defender and we need someone, you know, that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line, of course, as well. Obviously, everyone was relying on Marcus Rojo today as well, you know, to see what he could do, you know, from that left-hand side, because obviously we're used to, you know, mainly seeing Luke Shaw as our left-back, of course, as well, because Luke Shaw, he gallops forward, he makes them overlapping runs, of course, as well. So, essentially, it wasn't the best of performances today for Manchester United, but all that matters is the 3 points, of course, as well. You've got to say, you know, obviously, Man United now, our next 2 home games, you know, we go at home to Manchester City, we also go at home to Chelsea as well, so they are going to be 2 difficult games for Manchester United, of course, as well. And, you know, there's been a lot of, you know, rumours, you know, going on about Paul Pogba. And it was good to see, you know, Paul Pogba, you know, score 2 goals today, you know, from the penalty spot. He doesn't really miss penalties, Paul Pogba. He doesn't do that silly run-up anymore, you know, that he used to do, of course, as well. He just ran straight up today twice and bagged it straight into the back of the net, which was very good. So, obviously, you know, he got the man of the match. Obviously, if that hadn't have happened, it may have been a different, you know, scenario. Maybe someone else may have got the man of the match. I do not know. But, obviously, they've given the man of the match. Obviously, you know, with the 2 goals he scored as well. So, Pogba is Manchester United's rescue, of course, as well. So, potentially, as I've updated you, there's been a lot of rumours, you know, going on about Paul Pogba, as we all know, as well, you know, linking him with a move to Real Madrid. And as I did update you earlier on today, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, basically, you know, said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, basically, you know, insists, you know, that he thinks, you know, Paul Pogba, he's not thinking of a move to Real Madrid. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer insists he's still focusing on Manchester United, of course, as well. And obviously, recent reports have been coming out that obviously Paul Pogba wants £500,000 a week, you know, if he's to commit his long-term future at Manchester United, and if he's to remain loyal to the club, and of course if he's to sign a new contract with Manchester United as well. But Paul Pogba, of course, obviously is still under contract till 2021, so that's over 2 years at the moment, with an option of a further year as well. But potentially reports have been coming out saying that Real Madrid have been linked with him. Obviously Zinedine Zidane, of course, is emphasising his targets as well. But of course, obviously, you know, Paul Pogba, of course, he's one of them as well. And let's be honest, you know, overall he has been one of our most influential players under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Paul Pogba. But Real Madrid, of course, have been heavily linked to him. Now, I think Man United are set to begin contract negotiations with Paul Pogba. Obviously, we do know that he was talking a lot about Real Madrid the other week, you know, was Paul Pogba and all that. But I think from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preference, he insists Pogba's happy, and he insists Paul Pogba has still got a big future at the club, of course, as well. But obviously, Paul Pogba was talking a lot about Madrid. So if any offers do come in for him this summer, I think Manchester United, of course, are willing to turn them down as well. And it did say reportedly Real Madrid are preparing to put a bidding of around £130 million, I think, for Paul Pogba this summer. There's also been rumours going on saying that he could make a return back to Italy, you know, with Juventus, where he did have 4 good years, but now he's heading into his 4th season as a Manchester United player. Obviously, Manchester United paid £89 million in from Juventus, you know, back in 2016. When he's playing in the right vein and manner, he's one of the best midfielders in world football, of course, as well. And obviously, his agent Raiola has been in the process, you know, he's finding him a new club. Obviously, his agent Raiola has spoken to, you know, he's spoken to Madrid a couple of times over the summer move. I think he's also been to Manchester, you know, to negotiate a move for Paul Pogba as well. And recent reports have actually said, you know, that obviously I do know that Paul Pogba and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have built a fantastic relationship, of course, but recent reports have indicated, I was saying that reportedly Pogba's relationship with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is reportedly slowly fading as well. But either way, we do need a couple of additions in that midfield, and there has been talks going on about Real Madrid's Toni Kroos as well, and reportedly it did say Real Madrid are willing to offload Toni Kroos, reportedly, you know, to free up space, you know, for Pogba and Christian Eriksen, because obviously, you know, Christian Eriksen, of course, is a Real Madrid target as well. And Toni Kroos, as I did say, is 29, he's German, of course, as well. He's enjoyed a difficult 12 months, you know, this season with Real Madrid. He has been at Real Madrid a number of years as Toni Kroos. I think this is now his 5th season with Real Madrid, you know, Toni Kroos as well. Obviously, he's a former Bayern Munich player as well. He had a lot of experience of playing in Germany, when he was a lot younger, obviously. He played for Bayern Munich. I think he was on a loan with Bayer Leverkusen as well. But he is a very, very good player, and I think he's regarded as one of the best midfielders in world football, or one of the best in the world. He's Toni Kroos. He can play as a defensive mid. He can also play as a central midfielder as well, Toni Kroos. So there's also, been talks about him going on, saying that reportedly he wants to leave Real Madrid this summer, does Toni Kroos as well. But he's 29 and he's German, of course, as well. So there has been talks about Toni Kroos, going on in the media, and he could be available for a reasonable figure this summer, maybe for about 40, 50 million pounds, something like that, because I think he's 29 years of age now, don't forget he's Toni Kroos, but he has got a great pedigree overall. He's won quite a few trophies with Madrid. He won quite a lot of trophies, when he was younger with Bayern Munich as well. So potentially, there's been talks about him as well. And obviously, Ander Herrera, of course, as we all know, is out at the moment, of course, as well. Allegedly, reports were saying that he was demanding £200,000 a week from Manchester United, reportedly, Ander Herrera, reportedly. He was reportedly demanding £200,000 a week from Manchester United, was Ander Herrera. Reportedly, Manchester United were not willing to meet his £200,000 a week wage demand, and there has been a lot of speculation going on, saying that reportedly he's agreed a deal to join PSG on a free at the end of the season. I think it's a 3-year deal, worth around £150,000 a week, something like that. Obviously, we do know that Ander Herrera, obviously, hasn't been playing recently, obviously, due to injury and all that, but I've analysed his performances mainly, especially under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and, they have been really, really good indeed, and Ander Herrera has been mainly, fitting in that midfield trio very, very well indeed. But we do know, guys, obviously, there is better options out there than Ander Herrera, and Ander Herrera is not a £200,000 a week player, of course, but he's been a good servant to the club. This is his 5th season now at Manchester United, of course, so you could potentially say if he does go to PSG on a 3, obviously, it's a waste of about £30 million, because that's what we paid for him from Atletico Bilbao, back in 2014, of course, as well. So obviously, we've emphasised, quite a few targets, who could potentially, replace Ander Herrera. We also need a centre defensive midfielder that's fast and tenacious, because obviously Matic is not reliable enough. When Matic is playing, when he does play, obviously he's not playing at the moment because obviously he's out with an illness, I think. Obviously, but when he does play, he's not reliable enough. I've got strong reservations about him. He's too slow, plus he's aging up as well. So potentially, we need a centre defensive midfielder, that's fast and tenacious, of course, as well. So there's been talks who could replace Ander Herrera at Manchester United, and there was talks going on about Idrissa Gueye the other day as well, that got mentioned as well. And obviously, Idrissa Gueye is obviously, the same age as Idrissa Gueye is obviously, the same age as Ander Herrera, and, combining both together, Ander Herrera's had a better career, than Idrissa Gueye, to be quite honest with you. But do you think Idrissa Gueye, would blend in our midfield very, very well, if he came in? Obviously, we do know that Idrissa Gueye is 29, of course, I said he's the same age as Herrera. Obviously, he's a Senegal international as well, and he's a defensive midfielder, is Idrissa Gueye, and as I did say, he could be available for a reasonable figure this summer, because I think he's available for around, £30 million, or just under £30 million, could Idrissa Gueye as well. So there has been a lot of talks about him, going on as well. We could identify him as a replacement for Ander Herrera. Obviously, he spent quite a few years now in the Premier League. I think this is his 3rd season at Everton. I think he's made about 128 or 129 appearances in the Premier League. Obviously, this was including his time he had with Aston Villa as well. I think he only spent 1 season with Aston Villa. Obviously, when he was a lot younger, he played for Lille as well, Idrissa Gueye. I think PSG inquired about getting Idrissa Gueye back in January, but obviously, I think PSG had a bid of 2 turned down for him, because I think Everton wanted about £40 million for Idrissa Gueye back in January as well. Obviously, Everton renewed his contract in February of last year, so he's under contract with Everton until 2022. I think he's got the defensive capabilities. I think he intercepts very, very well. I think he breaks up the play very, very well, and I think he's got good physical attributes, and I think he'd be a good addition, if he came to Manchester United this summer, Idrissa Gueye as well. So there has been talks about him. Declan Rice, as I said, about Declan Rice, I thought he had a good game today for West Ham as well. And, there has been speculation about Declan Rice as well, saying that Manchester United are reportedly, prepared to spend up to £50 million for Declan Rice, and he can play as a centre-back, but I think he's mainly a holding midfielder as well. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents. He's Declan Rice, he's only 20 years of age, of course, as well. He's Declan Rice. But Declan Rice, as I said, I think Man United are prepared to spend up to £50 million for him. He's mainly defensive midfielder. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him. He's been in the West Ham senior squad, quite a few years now, as Declan Rice, as we all know as well. But potentially he's available for a reasonable figure this summer. So do you think he'd blend in very, very well in our midfield? And I think his performances this season for West Ham have been impressive. Obviously, his performances for West Ham have been very impressive this season. Obviously, back in December, he signed a new contract with West Ham, so he is under contract with West Ham until 2024. He's Declan Rice as well, so he could be a possible replacement, for Ander Herrera, of course, as well. But we definitely as well, need a defender. We need a centre back, without a shadow of a doubt. Indeed, we do need a centre back. We need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof. Of course, if a new centre back comes in this summer, obviously Eric Bailly's future is going to be definitely uncertain with the club, because obviously he's been in and out of the team this season. Obviously, he's out at the moment with a head concussion. Of course, is Eric Bailly as well. So if a new centre back is to come in, Eric Bailly could be on his way out of the club in the summer as well. So we've been linked with quite a few defenders. To be quite honest, there's been a lot of talks going on about Alderweireld, of course, as well, available for around £25 million this summer, as we all know, because that's his current release clause. Obviously, Tottenham last year activated a 12-month extension and included a £25 million release clause. So we do know that Alderweireld is available for £25 million this summer. I do know there's better options out there than Alderweireld, but he's 30 years of age now, just recently turned 30. I've got strong reservations about Alderweireld, of course, but he can still be a world-class central defender, and of course he's well Premier League proven as well, is Toby Alderweireld. And I think Manchester United were linked with Alderweireld last summer, of course. Tottenham, Manchester United were linked with Toby Alderweireld last summer, but obviously, we couldn't come to agreement to get him, of course, as well. So, do you think he'd address our defensive deficiencies, really, really well, indeed? And if Tottenham were to get rid of him in the summer, Tottenham would still have other options in their back line. They've got likes of Davinson Sanchez and Jan Vertonghen, of course, as well. And I think Alderweireld is keen on making the move, this summer to Manchester United, and he could be possibly one of our first signings this summer, could Alderweireld, because obviously he's refused to sign a contract renewal with Tottenham as well. And he's been at Tottenham a number of years now. I think he's made over 150 appearances for Tottenham, as well as Toby Alderweireld. So we do know, obviously, there has been a lot of talks about Alderweireld as well. We do know there's been a lot of talks, going on about Napoli's Koulibaly as well. And, Koulibaly, as I did currently say, he'd address our defensive deficiencies, fantastically well. And a player of his calibre, he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years. He's 27, going on 28. Of course, I think Napoli will only entertain bids in the region of £75 million or more, of course. Manchester United, of course, have got to pay a world record fee, of course, as well to get him, because obviously the most expensive defender in the world at the moment is obviously Virgil van Dijk, who Liverpool, of course, paid £75 million for back in January of last year, of course, as well. So it will probably cost us in the region of around £90 million if we have got any chances of getting Koulibaly from Napoli this summer. Obviously, Manchester United back in January held negotiations. Back in January, Manchester United had 3 bids, turned down for Koulibaly. Obviously, we were linked with him last summer, of course, as well. Recent reports did indicate out saying that he's allegedly being subjected to more racial abuse by a fan. I think he suffered racial abuse back in December last year as well. But his performances have been very, very good in Italy. With Napoli, he's been there a number of years. He's flourishing, fantastically well, indeed. And he's one of the best central defenders in world football. His current position, that he fulfills. Recently signed a new contract with Napoli, so he's still under contract with Napoli till 2023, of course, as well. So Manchester United, of course, have been linked with Koulibaly as well. We do know there's still talks, obviously, going on about Rafael Varane as well. I think Real Madrid will only part with Rafael Varane if any team, of course, is willing to trigger his release clause, of course, because his release clause is around 429 million in his current deal with Real Madrid, of course, as well as Rafael Varane's. But I like Rafael Varane. He's only 25 years of age, and it's remarkable what he's achieved as a player, just the age of 25. Obviously, he spent the majority of his career in Spain. This is like his 8th season now at Real Madrid. He's won about 15, 16 major honours. He's made about 270 appearances for Real Madrid in all competitions as well. I think his current deal ends in 2022 with Real Madrid as well. There's Rafael Varane's, but there has been a lot of talks about that, because reports coming out from Spain the other week saying that Rafael Varane is considering reportedly leaving Real Madrid this summer, reportedly as well. But I don't think Real Madrid will potentially let him go. But even if his release clause isn't to be triggered, he's still going to cost Man United at least around £100 million, of course, as well. So this is now his 8th season, of course, with Real Madrid, and I do really, really like Rafael Varane. He's got the ability to elevate Manchester United, of course, as well. His defensive capabilities are good. He shows the ability, that he can play out from the back, of course, as well. He reads the game very, very well, and he'd be a great leader in our back line. and he'd be a great leader in our backline as well, with Rafael Varane, of course, as well. So there has been talks about him, going on as well. So, essentially, as we all know, Solskjaer wants to bring at least, 5 new additions to Manchester United this summer. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out as well. And we do know players are going to leave United this summer. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got a huge decision to make as well. Obviously, who's going to get the captain's armband for next season? Because obviously, we know that Valencia is on his way out of the club in the summer. Because obviously, the club activated. Obviously, we didn't trigger that 1 year extension on his contract, Valencia. And this is now his 10th season at Manchester United. Of course, as well. I think he's made about over 300 appearances for the club. Obviously, at the moment, Valencia, of course, has got a calf injury. So, yeah, we'll have to make a decision who's going to get the captain's armband for the new season. But it's essential, as I did say, that we get that Champions League football for next season. So, in that aspect, it makes us have more of a competitive summer window, of course. And obviously, a player of Paul Pogba's calibre and level, obviously, he wants to be in Champions League football for next season. So, I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will want Paul Pogba to go. He won't let Paul Pogba go. Obviously, we've got De Gea as well. Obviously, who has not signed a new contract yet with Manchester United. Of course, it reportedly said he's demanding around £350,000 a week from Manchester United. David De Gea. Man United have been in negotiations getting him a new contract. Of course, obviously, he's demanding £350,000 a week. Is De Gea? Reportedly, Man United are not willing to meet his wage demands. As I said, Real Madrid have been long admirers of David De Gea. Of course, obviously, recent reports did say that PSG have also been interested in him as well. But obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority as well is to keep Paul Pogba and De Gea, because they are two key players, of course, in Manchester United. And this is David De Gea's 8th season now at Manchester United, of course, as well. So, potentially, yeah, so obviously he wants around £350,000 a week, but I did say what currently Alexis Sanchez is earning. It's totally affecting our wage structure and affecting our wage structure in a bad way, of course, because obviously now we've got quite a few players, demanding more money. As I said, Pogba's demanding 500 grand a week, De Gea wants £350,000 a week, and De Gea's on 200 grand a week at the moment, so he wants £150,000 pay rise. Pogba's on £300,000 a week at the moment, and he wants a £200,000 pay rise, of course, as well. But I do want Manchester United, of course, keep Paul Pogba. Obviously, there's been talks going on about Marcus Rashford, as you all know, as well. Reportedly, he wants £300,000 a week from Manchester United as well. Marcus Rashford. Potentially, Man United, I think he's been in advanced talks with Manchester United over a new 5-year deal as Marcus Rashford as well. So he wants around £300,000 a week as Marcus Rashford. So if this was to process, obviously, his wages would increase by nearly 4 times, of course. And he's probably not on that level yet, Marcus Rashford. He's not there yet. He's obviously not on the same level as Mbappe, and it'll take him quite a few years probably, to emulate to Mbappe's level, of course, as well. But he looked very, very good today. As I said, when he came on, he had a couple of chances in that. He was making some decent runs, of course. Was Marcus Rashford, but his game's been affected lately. Marcus Rashford. He has had quite a few injuries, and that's taken its toll on Marcus Rashford. And I think it's affected his game a little bit, to be quite honest with you. He's sustained quite a few ankle injuries, but he did look lively. When he came on today. Obviously, born and bred Manchester, being United player since the age of 7, progressing up the ranks very, very well indeed, Marcus Rashford. He's been a United player, of course, since, he's been in the senior squad, since 2016, of course, as well. So it'll take him a couple of years, to graduate to that level, but he is still only young. He's only 21, of course, as well. So potentially, players are going to definitely, leave Manchester United in the summer. Maybe Marcus Rojo may not leave Manchester United in the summer. There was talks about it before, saying that Rojo could leave in the summer. Rojo's career has been affected, with the amount of injuries he suffered as a Manchester United player. Obviously, he got given the chance today. Obviously, he was playing at left back. I think that was his 5th appearance this season for Manchester United, of course, as well. But obviously, his career's been affected, the amount of injuries he's had. I think Darmian could be on his way out in the summer as well. I'm surprised Darmian didn't play today, to be quite honest with you, Matteo Darmian. He did say, he initially said in his press conference, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he probably will be available. Darmian did make the bench, of course, but obviously, Darmian didn't play, of course, as well. Sanchez probably on his way out of the club in his summer. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say he wasn't sure if he was going to be available, of course, but Sanchez, obviously must have not been fit enough, to participate. So Sanchez didn't play today either, but I think he's probably on his way out of the club in his summer, is Alexis Sanchez, because he's endured a very, very difficult time here as a Manchester United player, as we all know as well. You know, when he's played, he just looks so restricted, just looks as though he hasn't been getting the freedom, and he hasn't fitted under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system, of course, as well. So yeah, players are going to leave Manchester United this summer without a shadow of a doubt. But I think from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preference, you know, he wants to keep De Gea here, he wants to keep Paul Pogba here, of course, as well. So yeah, going into Tuesday night's game against Barcelona, yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer probably will play McTominay on Tuesday. Obviously, he didn't play him today, but must have wanted to, you know, just to rest him, you know, for the game on Tuesday. Obviously, Fred got given another opportunity today. Lindelof probably will be in contention to play against Barcelona. That's why Lindelof was rested today, of course, as well. But as I did say, I give him my reflection on the game, you know, to be quite honest with you. You know, it wasn't the best of performances from Manchester United. Man United, we had our chances. You know, West Ham had big chances in the game as well. But I thought it was far too open game, you know, to be quite honest with you. I thought both teams were finding it very, very easy indeed, you know, to get in that attacking further pitch. But in the first half, you know, I thought both teams, you know, were just lacking that cutting edge, you know, to be quite honest with you. And there wasn't really any big chances in the first half, you know, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, you know, as I did say, there was a few talking points in the game. You know, there was a debate on the first penalty decision. There was a debate on the first penalty that had been given. There was also a huge debate on West Ham's disallowed goal as well. But I thought Felipe Anderson, you know, I think he's West Ham's goal scorer this season. I thought he played well today for West Ham. I thought Lanzini played well to obviously, you know, he went off injured. I thought Declan Rice had a pretty decent game for West Ham as well. So they did have the chances today, did West Ham, but it wasn't the best of game of the highest quality, you know, to be quite honest. But obviously, all that matters is the 3 points for Manchester United, of course, as well. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys.